This is a case study example of faulty workmanship that is related to the concept I talked about earlier regarding development length. How long do these bars that are in a slab or a beam have to be to properly work to carry the tension force? As a quick review, this structure is a preheater tower in a cement plant. It's a very large structure. It's 450 foot high, and it is 90 feet in one direction across the slide there and about 50 feet in the other direction. To give you a perspective of its size, those beams are 10 feet deep and about 3 feet wide, and they frame into an L-shaped column where they make a connection. This is basically a large high-rise building that is put in place, but for industrial uses. Not too long after it was put in service, some concerning cracks showed up, and the cracks showed up at every beam column connection where the columns framed into the L-shaped beams. Was a large crack. You can see in that picture the highlighted crack, and it was large enough to almost stick a pencil in. And they occurred to make that crack. Something's going on at that connection to make that tension force. Something's pulling them apart, horizontally to do that. So if we look inside that beam and we look at its function, these beams are made to carry the force of the equipment on that floor, but they're also made to carry the structure from stiffness, which actually creates an interesting situation. As the structure bends one way, we have a situation where we've got tension on the top and bottom of that beam. When it flexes the other way, it actually reverses. So you can have tension top and bottom as that goes into somewhat of a shear force. To counteract that, there was a large number of number 10 bars in the top of that beam. And when the investigation was done to locate those 10 bars and find out where they were, how long they were, it was no coincidence that the crack actually started where the number 10 bar stopped, which led to an indication of analysis that said the bars were too short. So those bars were not long enough. They did not have enough development length. They were literally pulling out of that concrete, allowing it to crack. Typically, those bars, to make them the proper development length, would be to hold that crack together, would be extended past there to develop them. And since they're number 10 bars, if they didn't have the distance to extend them longer, or it was so congested they couldn't extend it, there'd be two options. Sometimes they'll actually put a T-head on the back of the bars, so that it actually creates its own anchor in a shorter distance, or they will put a 360 degree or 180 degree hook in that bar, again, just to create an anchor to do that. But neither of which was done.